That was like Panic City, right?
She was sweating.
Chris Jericho's guy just called Simon. He's got people. Chris Jericho has people. Fozzy was at the Vixen last night. They're at the Forge tonight. So Chris Jericho's guy, Simon, who has an accent, just called. He's his guy. And he was getting ready to bring Chris Jericho in the building. They did a dry run, they said, to see from getting Chris from the bus to the building.
Right.
Was they apparently do a dry run. Chris Jericho's a person that needs this. And he's like, I have to have and then if you could have a black coffee and a water ready. So I've sent Leah and I've said, now go to Chris. She was panicking. She's like, I'm sweating. And she's like, what do I do? What do I do? I'm like, go get Chris Jericho, put him in the waiting area, give him a black coffee and a water.
Right.
So she's out at entrance G now waiting for Chris Jericho. But I'd never seen her panicked before.
She was like, I'm sweating. And then she ran.
Yeah.
Like full speed.
Leah is currently out getting Chris Jericho. And then she has to get him a black coffee and a water ready. We have to have that ready.
Yeah.
Chris Jericho. Hey. She's Chris Jericho. You know, I don't want to make the list.
No, don't make the list.
Do not give him a pen that clicks. I don't know. I'm not prepared for it. It should be a train wreck coming up with Chris Jericho live here.
Lovely.
At the G spots. 8:29 now.
Mix of sun and clouds today. See, I can do this.
Thanks
too.
for covering.
We're going to see high in the low to mid 60s. It's 62 right now. Well, that's not right. It's going to be 62.
Whatever, Tim. I don't know.
That's
you can't
Leah's
do Leah's job.
95 WIIL Rock. 95.
Apparently more difficult than either one of us think.
Can't read. Two Keegan men arrested after a large party in Round Lake was broken up, but several people stayed in the neighborhood to cause some alleged havoc. 21-year-old Ramon Basturo was arrested after allegedly throwing a model at a Lake County Sheriff's deputy. 21-year-old Jarvian Allen was arrested after attempting to punch a Round Lake police officer and threatening the family of a Lake County Sheriff's deputy. A Lake in the Hills man on his way to prison after another conviction on the same type of crime. Donald Vusick arrested for a DUI after leaving the scene of a December 2021 crash. He pleaded guilty to aggravated DUI. That was his sixth offense. And officials say his license was also revoked. The 38-year-old sentenced late last week to 7 years in prison. Blow Rock Sports brought to you by the plumbers and steam fitters of Local 118. The demand for skilled journeyman plumbers is high. Go to UALocal118.com. Baseball, great game last night, by the way. Actually, the great last two games between the Rangers and Houston. It got a little fisticuffy on Friday night.
Bench clearing.
Yeah, it was good times. Rangers force a game 7. That will be tonight against the Houston Astros. Phillies look to take the National League side with the game 6 win over the Diamondbacks, if they win anyway. If they lose, it's a game 7 on Tuesday. Bears beat the Raiders. Packers lose to the Broncos. Eagles over the Dolphins in Sunday Night Football. Monday Night Football, it's the 49ers and Vikings. Chicago Wolves, a shootout loss to Texas. Did you survive?
Leah's back.
No, I didn't. He's not out there. I'm grabbing my jacket because it's freezing.
Go wait for Chris Jericho.
I won't even wait for Chris Jericho in the cold.
Wait for Chris Jericho.
No,
you can wait in the vestibule. Just watch for him.
It's 40 degrees
Okay, princess. Just get your ass out and make sure you're ready with a black coffee and a water for Chris Jericho.
You were sweating a minute ago.
Chris Jericho waits for no one. Hurry! You're going to make the list. You're going to make the list. You're going to make the list. She's panicked. Anyway, Chris Jericho joining us in studio if Leah ever gets her bleep together. That's coming up on WIIL Rock. From ashes to new on Will Rock. That was surreal. I'm in using the bathroom, and here's my coworker yelling at me through the door. What are you doing? What are you doing?
Did you have the nervous?
Well, you're yelling at me, and I'm trying to do my business.
No,
I'm like, that
well,
was just odd.
I was making sure. Well,
All right.
the coffee.
I know. We know how to get coffee and
I
water
was
for
making
Chris
sure
Jericho.
that's what the coffee set to the side. That
Chris,
it was.
is your coffee acceptable? Are you okay with your coffee? Is it good?
My coffee came from the bus, so it's got nothing to do with your studio.
Oh, you didn't give it good.
Simon.
Simon's having the coffee. Is this coffee okay?
Yeah, it's fine. I was actually just watching SNL with Mick Jagger while you were playing Ashes from the New.
Yeah.
It's very, very cool.
Yeah. So Chris Jericho, welcome
to the show. Ignore that, Mick Jagger on the fucking
no.
SNL.
You can't say that word on the radio.
Well, you could beat me.
That's okay. I did. I only got one more button, and then we got to.
I won't do it again.
That's all right. Well, it's early. I want to ask you. This is more important. I mean, Mick Jagger's nice, and I hope the boy. I hope he does well with his career and makes something of himself. But I want to ask you about Fozzy last night at the Vixen in McHenry, which, by the way, very cool venue, right?
It's a very cool venue. It's an old movie theater they've converted into a venue, and it was awesome.
Yeah. But are you used to getting either from the wrestling days or from not with Fozzy, because you guys play late? Do you ever get up this early, or are you just doing this for us?
No, this is the first time I've ever been up this early in my entire life.
That is not a lie.
Give me a break. Come on, man. This is nothing. It's 8:40. It's not 6:40.
No, the rock bands. We usually have to wake the rock bands in the bus. If they're going to be on with the show, we got to go bang on the door and get them out of their racks.
That means they're unprofessional then.
You are. You're a pro. Who did we have in Sebastian Bach?
Yeah.
A couple of months ago, and he was up early or whatever. That was crazy. He's a character.
An idiot?
No, he's all right.
Chris Jericho does not like Sebastian Bach.
Apparently, Sebastian Bach is on the list, apparently, so don't give him a pen. I don't want to make it. So we're going to talk about the Fozzy show last night, and then tonight at the Forge.
Yes, at the Forge in Joliet. Always a good time.
I love the Forge.
Go. Yeah, another great venue, Frank, down there at the Forge.
There's so many great venues in this area. That's the funny thing about Chicago is, I don't think there's actually any real venues in Chicago proper. There's a few, but most of them are all in the surrounding areas.
Around the burbs.
Yeah, in the burbs. Yeah, exactly.
All right, we'll find out what to expect. And we'll play the new Fozzy song, Spotlight, is coming up next. It is 8:42.
Mostly sunny today with a high of 62, 45 overnight, and tomorrow sunny and 77. It is 44 in Gurnee and 45 in Racine.
Chris Jericho from Fozzy here this morning. You got questions? You want to text them in now, 815-283-0095 studio, the keyword. I said I don't know, a lot of the people that come in that are the bigger celebrity stars, A-listers or whatever, that come in, there's a list of things we're not allowed to talk about.
Yeah.
And Chris Jericho came with no list, so I guess anything's okay to talk about.
Gosh, you're setting the tone.
Is there a list?
If there is a list, I'm in trouble. Simon's like, there's a list.
There's
you
no
didn't
list.
get the list. There's no list.
Simon has nothing to do with anything.
The guys from Motley Crue.
I don't want Simon's name mentioned again.
All right. I don't know who you're talking about. There's a lot of them. There's a list of things you're not allowed to talk about. The Motley Crue guys, it's like a book.
I guarantee Motley Crue is not in here at 8:30 in the morning.
No, on the phone. But it's just because they're waking up at that time in the morning. We had Jelly
I never
Roll.
went to bed.
We had Jelly Roll here at 5:30 in the morning, not in studio, but on the phone.
Yeah.
And it was because he was up from the night before. So do you roll sometimes after the show? Do you stay up? Do you see 5:30 or do you pretty much call it a night right away? I would. I don't know.
I mean, yeah, dude.
I want to know if it gets crazy with Chris Jericho after the Fozzy set's over or whatever. So
no, I mean, like you said, you're acting like it's 5 a.m. It's 8:40. I mean, most people should be up by now, anyways. Just in general life.
My dad approves of the Chris Jericho work ethic. All right, you got questions? 815-283-0095 studio, the keyword, and there is no list. We're talking to Chris Jericho of FOZZY this morning on Will Rock. Chris Jericho is here, and apparently he's right if you're freaked out about getting up this early.
Oh, my God, it's not early. Stop saying that.
Except for people who went to your show last night on the text
People
line.
that went to my show last night were at work already. It's almost 9 o'clock,
right,
man.
but they're dragging ass. It says, Fozzy at the Vixen last night was a party. Work sucks today. Bill from McHenry. So you're just more of an early riser, and you were the one who was up there on stage busting ass. Bill is probably just drinking beer in the crowd. So
yeah, I just don't see the correlation of being super early at 8:45 in the morning.
You're a good
That's
man.
just me, though.
You're a good man, Chris Jericho. You have a good work ethic. The thing is, the Fozzy show last night at the Vixen, it was a school night. It was a work night or whatever.
It was Fozzy Friday, so all rules are off.
You know, there you go.
Yeah.
Do you like
tonight too in Joliet? It's Fozzy Friday.
Yeah, there you go. Do you like the these are venues where you're the headliner and it's your full set. You can play whatever you want and all that stuff, and it's more intimate? Or do you like the shows where you're with a bunch of other bands and you're in front of other bands, fans, but there's more people? Do you like the huge ones or the smaller ones?
I found over the years that we don't play well with others, so it's always kind of our model to just do our own shows, and we've done that for years now.
Yeah.
And
so you're not going to get on any big tour packages where
you can, but the thing is, like, if you're going to open for Metallica, which is great, there's a certain financial hit that you take when you do that, because they can pay you, a bag of hockey pucks and a cup of coffee.
Yeah.
And we enjoy doing our own thing, and we have kind of a business model that works. So, we opened for Iron Maiden in a stadium in LA a few years ago, and we've done, a couple tours of Australia with Metallica. That's great. But for us, I think we enjoy just playing our own stuff. Like you said, we do our own thing. We make our own rules. Yeah. And we're the boss. We kind of like that best.
Do you ever get tired? There's so many Fozzy shows. You play. You like grinding it out on the road and playing. And then, there's still
I think nowadays, that's kind of the way that bands make their biggest mark is by playing live.
Yeah.
I think that, it's just the way of the world when you're in a band, and especially for us, like now that we're kind of a radio band, quote unquote, we've got a lot of play on the radio, which is great. And the best way to kind of take advantage of that is by going on tour. So, we're not touring like 365 days a year, but we probably do 150 shows a year, and it's a lot. It is a lot, yeah. But it's kind of the way you have to do it nowadays. You know what I mean? Like, you can't just stay at home to build your band, because you constantly have to build, like you said. Like, for example, with McHenry last night, we've never played McHenry before.
Yeah.
So when you play it, then you got to go and you're kind of starting from scratch because it's a new venue. Tonight with the Forge, we've played it many times, so people know exactly what they're going to get with Fozzy, and you kind of relate to that different ways.
And that's different for all bands now. It used to be you toured to get in front of people so they'd hear your music and then go buy your album. That's how you made your money.
Yeah, it's opposite now.
And now you don't make squat off the recorded stuff. You got to hit the road to make any money.
That really is the way. You're right.
Yeah, we were at a radio convention, and one of the guys said, if these kids ever figure out a way to download a T-shirt, we're screwed. So
it's true though. It's true. But you can't replicate the live experience. No. Like, even like during you mentioned the lockdown, how things changed. Like, people did like pay-per-views and live shows in the studio. It's not the same. Nothing will ever beat the live experience of going to see your favorite band. And thankfully, like you said, you can't download that feeling and that experience.
Fozzy is at the Forge tonight in Joliet. There are still some tickets available if you want to go to that show, Monday night show. So head on. But it's Fozzy Friday. The new song is called Spotlight. I'm going to play that, and then we'll talk about that with Chris Jericho this morning. Thanks for being here. Here's Spotlight. It's Fozzy on WIIL Rock.
I am the light of the truth, the one who sees right through. I know your every move. I've got my eye on you. Spotlight. Down below, deep within the basement, let it go, let it go. I know you've got your issues, a
Center, safe in your disguise, from memories to spend, but away from prying eyes. I'll be with you forever. The sweat pulled on your brow, the guilt that slowly festers, eating inside out. 'Cause every lie you tell, I know. Everywhere you go, I go. It's written on your face. Every thought you have betrays you.
The very latest from FOZZY. Spotlight on Will Rock, and Chris Jericho is here at the G-Spot with us this morning. Will Rock Morning Show, Tom and Leah. It's 8:56.
Mostly sunny today with a high of 62, 45 overnight. And tomorrow, sunny and 77. It's 46 in Kenosha and 43 in Palatine.
FOZZY tonight at the Forge in Joliet. They were at the Vixen last night, and Chris Jericho's not dragging ass, but you were at that show last night. You were dragging ass. So we go to the phone lines for a question for Chris Jericho coming up next. Tim warned me this morning. Tim warned me this morning that I don't want to make the list. So don't
make the list.
Nobody, you don't have a pen, do you? Nobody give him a pen. We will. Leah, don't help.
Oh, sorry.
This is the one time you're gonna. She had a pen ready.
She clicked it for you.
It was like she was like a gunslinger. It's out. It's out.
She had that in a holster and everything.
8:57 now.
95, Will Rock 95 second update. Waukegan police announcing an arrest from an incident that took place last week. Officials responded to a battery call where a man told police he was trying to intervene in an attack on his sister. When he was put in a headlock, a gun was put to his head. The suspect, identified as Brandon Hassan Bueller, was caught a short time after the incident. 25-year-old charged with aggravated battery, unlawful possession of a weapon by a felon. Will Rock Sports brought to you by Windy City Rooter. They drain your pipes, not your wallet. Bears win over the Raiders. Packers lose to the Broncos. Sunday night football goes to the Eagles. Monday night football, it's the Niners and Vikings. Rangers and Astros will have a Game 7 tonight on the American League side of things. National League, it's the Phillies in Game 6 with the Diamondbacks. Chicago Wolves, they lose in a shootout to the Texas Stars.
Chris Jericho, do you root for anybody?
That was good.
You root for?
Thanks.
That's really good.
Tim's actually the only professional broadcaster in the room.
I agree.
Who else? Leah, who else? See, Chris Jericho. Who else?
He all he's seen me do is read the weather.
What do you
But
got?
you've done a
What do
good
you
job
got?
with that too.
What's
Thank
your
you.
A game? What are you bringing to the table? Are you wearing shoes?
I put on my shoes
She
for
has
you.
shoes.
Wow.
She's usually
I
barefoot.
usually
Yeah.
don't. I
Wow.
did. I forgot that you were coming in today, and I told Tom it wasn't like, oh, I'm wearing my pajamas because I
Right.
rolled out of bed on a Monday. It was that I have to put on my shoes.
She gotta wear
'cause
shoes.
I appreciate that.
We have a
Thank
class.
you.
Yeah, well, congratulations.
I'm glad I'm worthy of shoe wearing.
I'm wearing
That's good.
I'm wearing pants, which is weird.
I'm
today,
wearing
so-
pants and shoes as well.
Wow.
Just so you guys
Me
know.
too.
Thank you.
Yay!
Thank you so much.
This just
Thank
in,
you.
Chris
Thank you.
Jericho dresses self. There's the headline.
Yeah, I didn't say dress myself.
Oh,
I said I was wearing shoes and pants.
somebody, I'm not
Let's
saying
not get carried away.
Somebody, I'm not saying who. He has a dressing crew,
Mhm.
Chris Jericho, but he does not put his pants on one leg at a time. He actually jumps up in the air and drops into them.
Yeah, off the trampoline.
If you've seen the Fozzy show, he's probably capable
Oh,
of that.
I'm
yeah,
So there you go.
absolutely. Yeah.
They're at the Forge tonight. Come on out and watch Chris Jericho jump into his pants. That's right. Chris Jericho
That's the beginning of the show.
wants to get into his own pants tonight at the Forge.
That's the beginning of the show every night.
Every night.
Yeah.
You got questions for him? 815-283-0095 studio, the keyword, followed by what you want to know. And Stu from Gurney is waiting on hold with a question
Stu!
for Chris
I know Stu.
Jericho. We'll do that next. on
Oh my
Will
gosh,
Rock.
that's a cliffhanger.
hustle this that makes sense of this. I can't resist. In the flames I feel a part of you. It's the only way to reach through. It's a path to the divine. It's the only place I go to when dark and light collide. So burn me out, use me till there's nothing. My heart beat down, get me from inside. Burn me out, I need to feel alive. It's never enough, never enough. Take what you want from me, take what you want from me, take what you want from me. Burn me out, come burn me out. Nothing eats away like a cold regret you can't forget. Isolation only makes the hurt worse. It's the only way to reach through. It's a path to the divine. It's the only place I go to when dark and light collide. So burn me out, use me till there's nothing. My heart beat down, get me from inside. Burn me out, I need to feel alive. It's never enough, never enough. Take what you want from me, take what you want from me, take what you want from me. Burn me out, come burn me out. Take what you want from me, take what you want from me, take what you want from me. Burn me out, come burn me out. It's the only way to get through to where I know myself. So burn me out, use me till there's nothing. My heart beat down, get me from inside. Burn me out, I need to feel alive. It's never enough, never enough. Take what you want from me, take what you want from me, take what you want from me. Burn me out, come burn me out. Take what you want from me, take what you want from me, take what you want from me. Burn me out, come burn me out. Come burn me out, come burn me out, come burn me out.
Burn Me Out from Fozzy on Will Rock. Chris Jericho in studio with us this morning. Last night at the Vixen and McHenry, tonight at the Forge in Joliet for the Fozzy show. We go back on that one a little ways. Burn Me Out. Do you get some of the older stuff in the set? You got fan favorites you feel like?
Oh,
you gotta
absolutely.
play?
Like that's the thing. We've had, I think, 8 or 9 records, so it's always kind of cool to pick the set list. A song like "Burn Me Out" was a hit a few years ago, so you have to play it. It's always fun to play live. So yeah, you want to. There's a certain, maybe probably 6 or 8 songs that we have to play, and then you pad out the set with songs that you like to play and kind of fan favorites and the whole thing that. It's all about, some songs are great songs that just don't work live. Other songs are songs that maybe weren't big hits that are great live. So you kind of pick a cross section of those.
Because with the amount of songs you have for Fozzy now, it's like you're kicking kids out of the house when you're doing the set list.
Right?
You feel bad.
There's certain songs that you sometimes like, okay, this tour, we're not playing that.
Yeah.
And fans will always be like, well, why don't you play Burn Me Out, or why don't you play Painless, or whatever it may be. But you rotate them.
But there's fans, Bo, that want deep cuts. Do you throw a deep cut in once in a while?
Of course,
He's got like a third or a fourth of the crowd is losing their minds, and the rest of them are like, "Why are you playing this instead of the other?" Set list has to be like the most nerve-wracking thing.
It is, and also the ebb and flow of a set list. What do you start with?
Yeah.
You got to have a good beginning, middle, and end. So yeah, there's a real art form to that.
Do you change it up? If people went to Vixen last night and they go to Joliet tonight?
No, we changed up for each tour. Yeah. So each tour you kind of will switch it up, and then you keep it for for the whole tour. I mean, some bands will switch it every night, like the Chili Peppers or whatever. We're very much like, here's our 15 songs for the tour. We build our whole show around it because there's a lot of production, there's video walls, there's all that sort of thing. I like it that way. We used to switch it up night by night, but I like having the Pat 15 songs that, like for this tour, these are the songs. And then, when the next tour comes, then we'll switch it up.
People get a solid show. You know what's going on. So,
absolutely.
Fozzy tonight at the Forge in Joliet. You got questions for Chris Jericho. Hit the text line now at 815-283-0095. Make studio the first word in your message, followed by your questions for Chris. It's 9:13 Will Rock Morning Show. Tom and Leah.
Mostly sunny today with a high of 62, 45 overnight, and tomorrow sunny and 77. It's 44 in Lake Forest and 45 in McHenry.
Will Rock Morning Show is thanks to the Ray and Raymond Auto Group in Fox Lake and Antioch. That's her
what
thing.
I do.
She's the weather.
No, wait a second. Time out.
At some point, you're going to be able to get the weather on your phone, and then she's made redundant.
Or
That's
like in
the end
the
of
car.
her. Yeah.
Redundancy.
Yeah.
Everywhere
Simon
you look.
knows
Or just look out the window.
Everywhere,
Yeah,
literally.
Yeah, so.
Well, I think you did a great job, and I appreciate that.
Thank you,
and
Chris.
shoes.
He thinks I did a great job.
Yeah.
I did notice your shoes as well.
Yeah.
Usually I tell more stories, but we have you.
You want to do the happy hour news with Chris Jericho coming up?
I might have to.
All
So
right.
he knows I do more than just read the weather.
I
Yeah.
believe it.
Yeah.
I'll do the news with you.
Okay.
There you go. All right.
There we
Chris
go.
Jericho's news coming up.
I've
in,
done the news
just a little
before
bit.
and weather too.
Where at? Where did you do that?
I'm a one-stop shop. I don't know, like all over the place.
You seem to do a lot of things. Now, this is like actors all want to direct. You're wrestling.
Windy City Rooter.
now
They
you-
drain your pipes, not your
All
wallet.
right, Tim has now been
He's
made
fired.
redundant. That's the end of Tim.
Reduction
but
in force.
Is there anything on the, now that you're a rock star and you're a wrestler and you've been on Dancing with the Stars?
10 years ago.
Whatever. Well, I didn't even know if I was that long ago. My brain is falling apart. What's the thing? What's next? What do you want to? What do you
I
want
don't
to
know,
do?
man. I just wake up in the morning and go with the flow. Like this morning, I never realized it'd be at 95 WIIL, and here I am.
You just go where
I'm
people
so
tell
excited.
you. Yeah.
Just
All right.
go with the flow, and wherever the day takes you, you go there.
What's next from Chris Jericho? We don't know. He don't
Joliet
know. We
tonight
don't know.
at the
Joliet
Forge.
tonight
That's
at the
what's next.
Forge. And we'll do your text questions for
Nice.
him next on Will Rock.
Excited.
Leah's laughing at the text line. Since you and Chris are best friends now, did you want to
No, I don't.
ask the question?
No, I don't want to ask the question. And I would like.
ask the question.
I'm going to kindly ask you to just breeze over it.
Really? I'm going to see what it is.
Oh my gosh, what's the question?
Okay, it's about poop.
About poop?
Yeah,
The
that's what this show is
The
about.
nits. It's called the nits when you get nervous, and sometimes, like, have you ever been nervous?
Leah's
you get
talked
nervous?
about that sometimes she gets nervous and it affects her ability to restrict the function of her
No,
bowels.
I did not say that. You feel like you have to go. It's
Oh, okay.
the nervous, like.
Here's what she said word for word
No,
from
do not.
earlier this
Give us
morning.
a quote.
You don't want to hear it?
No, I don't want to.
Well, I kind of have to play it for him now,
you
don't I?
edited it.
But your guest wants
This
to
is
hear
not edited. There are no words added.
Let's
or
hear it.
taken.
There are
Here it
words
is,
taken
Chris.
out.
Let me
Here it
hear
is,
it.
Chris
Let me hear it.
Jericho.
I pooped myself. I said I never said I pooped myself.
I don't word for word.
I pooped myself.
And she seemed very happy and proud about it.
I liked how you put an effect on this. I poop myself.
Have you ever? Now,
Sounds like Dr. Frankenstein. I poop myself.
I tried to play bass in a band for many years. It was not great. And there was a song where I hit one note at the beginning and one note at the end, and I would leave the stage and go to the restroom.
Eruption.
Have you ever, it's actually Jack and Diane. Have you ever had to leave a show or a wrestling event or
No,
dance with, or
I
anything
have
for a bodily
I have
function?
never had to do that. 33 years of being in show business.
Yeah.
I've never had to walk off stage because I had to poop myself.
I pooped
So I got
myself.
that going for me.
He's so proud to be
I mean,
part of
but
the show.
it could
now,
happen at any
Leah.
time. It's life, right?
Yeah.
So
Thank you for saying that's okay. Do you feel better now,
That
Leah?
happens,
No, because
man.
I didn't.
Very
it
incontinent.
happens.
I pooped
Well,
myself.
this is the most embarrassing thing Chris Jericho has ever done, and he hasn't gotten up and walked out. We appreciate that, sir.
Man.
Let's play anher Fozzy
Well,
song.
contractually, I'm not allowed. So.
Oh, there it is. There you. We got it. We got him. We're
I'm
gonna.
just waiting for Black Cat Minerals across the way
It's
to
the
open up.
hippie shop.
As soon as they open up, I'm out of here.
We're gonna go get some incense and make the studio
Yes, I
smell
need some
better
crystals for my day.
because of Leah.
I pooped myself.
Fozzy tonight at the Forge in Joliet. It's I Still Burn.
Don't tell me I don't feel the same inside. What the hell do I keep fighting for? 'Cause underneath I'm never satisfied. Oh, I still believe in it. I live for it. Yeah, take the punishment I never learned. Yeah, I believe in it. I live for it. Sacrifice it all for it. My soul still stirs. And I still burn. Even when they think I'm at my end, I get up again. I still burn. Every time the fire floods these veins, oh, it never fades. I still put a million miles upon these bones. Living out this feeling I won't trade. There's nothing left of me after the show. The devil made a deal that I can't break. And so I pay the dues, fill the rooms. Much of difference got too soon. There's nothing worse. It always hurts. I still carry it deep within. They're with me like they're guardians. Their souls still stir. And I still burn. Even when they think I'm at my end, sacrifice it all for it. My soul still stirs, and I still burn. Even when they think I'm at my end, I'll get up again. I still burn. Every time the fire floods these veins, oh, it never fades. I still burn. I go on and on. I go on and on. I still burn. I go on and on. I go on and on. I still
There's some shredding guitar in I Still Burn from FOZZY. The rest of the guys in the band, the shredding guitar players and everybody else still probably sleeping on the bus. But they cranked it out last night at the Vixen. Forge tonight in Joliet. What about the rest of the band? Some love, shout out, some you want to say nice things about it?
It's kind of like you mentioned, they're still on the bus sleeping, which is fine. I mean, it's kind of my job as the singer to do the early morning press while the guys sleep.
Yeah.
And then when we get to the venue, then they have to kind of, load in the gear and set up all their stuff.
Sound check.
And as a singer, I just basically grab a microphone and just show up.
You know, I
It's
feel
the
bad.
best,
We're
right?
the drummer, guys. Everybody else is 3 beers in, and the drummer's still,
You never want to be the drummer.
Yeah.
Too much equipment.
Too
It's
much
like
work.
being a goalie on the hockey team.
That's what I did. And
It's too
literally,
much equipment.
literally, why I stopped playing hockey wasn't the playing; it was putting the stuff on.
It's
and
too much
off.
equipment. You got to
Yeah.
carry that stuff around.
And it smells like ass.
Well,
I just
so
had
does
an
the drummer.
epiphany.
So we're all
yeah.
I'm the Chris Jericho
Although our
of this
drummer was
show.
out to about 6 a.m. this morning. Did he get back on time? Is he on the bus?
Really?
Yeah.
What was he doing?
I think he might have found a little
Hello.
companion for the
Good for
night.
him.
A rock and roll companion.
Ladies want to know who in the band is up for grabs. Apparently, the drummer
The
is on
drummer.
the list. There you go. You got to work your way through the rhythm section to get to the front.
You
guys.
really do. Yeah.
First,
exactly.
first the
I
road.
won't talk to anybody unless you've banged the drummer first.
First the bass player, then
Well,
the drummer.
nobody cares about the bass player.
Then-
It's the drummer
See, and
first.
I
Drummer
love
first,
the bass
then,
player.
Then
roadie
guitar
then,
player. Then it's like a video
then
game.
the roadies, and
Yeah,
then
well,
and then Chris
roadies
Jericho.
first, drummer second, guitar player third, and then I'm like the final guy. Like
You
in a
didn't
video
even
game.
list the bass player, and that's about
So
right.
Nobody does.
sad.
It's so sad.
I love the bass.
Any
Oh,
idiot
you
can
like the
play
bass
bass.
player?
I do. I do.
I played bass.
I play bass.
Yeah.
Okay.
We're both like, I play bass.
I play because any idiot can pick up a bass and play it. It's
Not true.
Any idiot can play soccer and bass. These are the two things where you can do it, but being good at it is nearly impossible. So
Wow. Okay.
yeah, if you can play bass and soccer at the same time, I think you've just
I don't know
invented
if you can.
a sport.
Can you?
Too much rhythm. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
We invented a new sport, bass soccer,
soccer.
courtesy of Chris Jericho on the FOZZY tour
Trademark it.
tonight at the Forge. We just played I Still Burn. Is that one going to make it in the set tonight?
It is. All the songs you've played tonight are in the set. So
Are
far.
in the set because
Yeah,
you got
or this
people,
morning. Yeah.
people with favorites.
Good job. You've done a good job. They're all radio hits. Like I said, like we are a radio band with I think 6 consecutive top 10 singles. So all
Yeah.
these ones have to be played.
Yeah.
You
So
can't not play them because they're all hits.
you will hear them tonight at the Forge
You
in
shall.
Joliet. Now Leah's going to you're going to help her with the happy hour news.
I am.
Well, you guys both are.
My role is to just make stupid comments. So when she's done with the story, Chris Jericho and Leah, Chris Jericho proves anybody can do my job. When he's done with rocking and wrestling,
Mhm.
morning show radio
I'm
host.
coming to the mall.
Yeah, maker of fart jokes.
But he gets to be me. That's why I'm the Chris Jericho
Oh,
of the
he's-
show, because I just show up.
Okay.
You're over there pressing the buttons. You plan
Well, I'm
the
not
stuff.
doing the
You
show if
load
you're not
everything
involved.
in. Then I'll press the buttons.
Chris and
when you
Leah
join the
morning show coming
Yep.
soon.
Here we go.
It's 9:28.
95 WIIL.
Mostly sunny today with a high of 62, 45 overnight, and tomorrow sunny and 77. It's 45 in Antioch and 46 in Highland Park. And I chose this story because it is time for the 95 WIIL Rack happy hour news, because we're talking concerts and going out and dancing.
Yeah.
And I give you a hard time for being a pop. You're an old man,
But
right?
I'm the one who's there at the shows and then they're in the next morning.
That is true.
of
I don't know
all the
how you
people
do
that
it.
work
I
here.
don't know how you do it. I
Yeah.
don't know how either.
He's a rocker. That's
Yeah.
Yeah.
But if you do this or think it looks cool, here's the newest sign that you're an old person. You ready for
Okay.
it?
All
I'm ready.
This is courtesy of TikTok, by the way.
All right. It's
Always.
not, but it's not you.
I poop myself. It's not pooping yourself.
All right. All right.
When you're at a show
Yeah.
and you're dancing and you're feeling yourself, do you dance with your hands in the air? Do you see people dancing with
Like this?
their hands in the air? Maybe you add in a little clap.
You're an old people if your hands are up.
That's what the Gen Zers are saying. That is the news being broke.
Wow, okay.
If your hands, what are you supposed to do with your hands?
in
So
your
I'm,
pockets
I'm
now.
officially old. Sit on them.
Yeah,
Like I'm
yeah.
officially
I'm
old.
a shoulder mover though. I move
You-
the shoulders.
you do the
Yeah,
shoulders?
his hands
So
stay down.
You keep your
Like
arms
little Paul
bent.
Stanley and Kiss. You shrug the shoulders.
How far is like Chris's are down? He's a rocker.
Yeah.
How far up? If the hands,
It's
how far? Because I do like this. I have them in front of me.
okay. You do the front.
Is
No,
that-
it's arms up. They don't not straight up. You got your elbows a little bent.
All
They
right.
said, and you're dancing like this. Maybe you even have
my
your.
shoulder hurts now.
Then you're definitely old.
But I have my arms in the air. I'm proving I can still dance.
Yeah.
Basically. So what? Yeah, like what are you supposed to do with them?
I don't know. We'll
Yeah.
do the Chris.
You could get them down here and do
Shoulders.
this. It's called doing the Chris now.
Yeah.
If you're dancing
See,
like this,
I'm
we're
very
doing
influential.
the Chris.
The twist, the mashed potato, and the Chris.
And the Chris. He's got his own dance move.
I'm never dancing
First you
again.
rip, then you nay, and then you do the Chris.
Do the Chris.
Right.
Everybody else come out.
Do the
Come out to the
Chris.
Forge tonight. Do the Chris in the crowd for the Fozzy show.
Yes, we
Zero
should. That'd be
rhythm.
great.
More Fozzy and more Chris Jericho coming up next on Will Rock. Congratulations to Cheryl, who won a trip for two on the Cabin Fever getaway. How many have you gone on?
13? This will be 14.
The first time Cheryl went on the Cabin Fever getaway, she didn't even want to go.
First year I went kicking and screaming. I came home with 200 of my closest friends. My best friends are all from CFG.
So you didn't even want to go the first year. Your husband talked you into it?
He talked me into it
You were right, Ron, because then they went year after year after year.
every single year since.
And these people have now become your best friends.
Best friends
The whole world.
in the whole world.
The whole world. So if you have crappy friends and you want better friends, right?
Come on to CFG.
So if you think you don't want to book the Cabin Fever getaway, you're probably wrong too. Deadline to book is this Tuesday. Call Travel Leaders at 833-TL-TRIPS, 833-TL-TRIPS, or get all the details and book online at 95willrock.com.
Ron, you were right.
Kicking and screaming the first time she went. Once you go, you know we'll see you in Jamaica in February.
I'll be there.
Cabin Fever getaway to Jamaica in February with Travel Leaders, Fun Jet Vacations, and 95 Will Rock, the rock station. Chris Jericho is here this morning. You can see Fozzy tonight at the Forge in Joliet. New tune from Fozzy coming up in moments. He's got to go do Chris Jericho's stuff. When you're out on tour, do you get to see will you visit any Chicago stuff today? Will you go see the Bean? You know what the bean is?
No, man.
It's a giant reflective thing.
Yeah, I've been to Chicago probably 100 times, so I've seen all that stuff. So,
Yeah.
And we're not even close to Chicago. We're in Joliet, which is probably about 70 miles away.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
Yeah, man. When you're on tour, you're kind of in your bubble, and there's always so much work to do. I mean, obviously, we're doing the press now. Later on in the day, we have VIP, and there's more press to do in the middle of the afternoon. So you kind of just you exist on your pirate ship of the tour bus and the venue dressing room.
How do you kill time on the tour bus? Some people do movies, video games, drinking.
I'm not a video game guy.
Yeah.
Because if I was, I'd be a super addict. So I just don't do it at all. So there's always stuff to do, man. I mean, that's the
work
thing.
stuff with you.
Yeah, there's podcast stuff. And, maybe it's weird because I'm going to watch a movie tonight. And then you watch it for like 5 minutes. And then, somebody calls you and then the movie's done. So I started watching Invasion of the Body Snatchers last night for about 10 minutes. So maybe I'll watch another 10 minutes of that today.
All right. They get the bodies. I didn't mean to ruin it for you or whatever. So,
spoiler alert. Come on, man.
10 minutes at a time.
Donald Sutherland turns into an alien.
It's a classic.
Spoiler alert.
Scanners is next.
That's true.
So what do you, I got to ask the wrestling stuff. What's next? What secret stuff can you tell us? What the
zero. I would never tell any secret stuff.
Nothing.
To you.
Like what? There's no plan of what you're going to do.
Well, there's tons of plans, but I wouldn't tell you.
You can't tell us.
It's like, it'd be like a director telling you what the finish of the movie is if he came to promote it. Like you have to watch every week. It's a week-long or weekly kind of serial type thing.
But just between you and me.
Yeah,
just a little bit.
we're not good friends.
Yeah,
so.
All right.
Damn.
We're just getting to know each other.
Well, Leah, if you asked me, then you would say. Then you would say.
I wouldn't tell her on air.
Off the air.
Right,
We'll
what about
discuss.
musically for Fozzy? What's the plan? What are you doing?
Well, like I said, Spotlight just came out on Friday.
We're gonna play that in a minute.
So now we already played it. You can play it again if you like.
I'm gonna play it again.
Appreciate
Are we
that.
friends now, Chris Jericho?
Very much so.
There you go.
Yeah. I'm an open book, man.
Yeah.
I mean, I think whenever you put out a new song, you want to promote it, obviously, and radio is so important. I never realized how important rock radio was until we started getting played on rock radio. So we're hammering Spotlight for the next few months and get it to number 1, man.
Yeah.
Which is great. Our highest ever was Judas, which went to number 5. So maybe we can try and beat that.
All right. Do you work on songs when you're out on the road? Or do you just work out? You just do the.
You do, but being on the road is not a good time. Some bands write on the road.
Yeah.
I've never been able to do that. There's two separate. It's the church and state for me.
Mm-hmm.
Being on the road is being on the road, and then when you're off the road is when you can maybe be creative. But the guys are always working on stuff for sure.
Do you have a new favorite Fozzy song? Do you have something?
Spotlight.
Spotlight is he's working it though. He's saying that.
I'm just it's the new song though. Seriously, like you can't not say that.
That's
right?
the one. All right,
Yeah,
we'll
so
play the new favorite Chris Jericho song.
We open the
moments.
show with it. We're
All
rocking with it. It's awesome.
At the Forge tonight in Joliet.
We're opening with Spotlight at the Forge tonight. There's a secret for you.
Don't miss the beginning of the show. What time do you guys go on?
9:30.
9:30. And
we don't mess around, man.
If you want to see Chris again, next time he's close by, he'll be at the Annex in Madison in November. You can check out more.
Wow, there's a lot of shows in the area.
FozzyRock.com. Yeah. So
thanks, man.
Chris Jericho, thanks for being on the show this morning.
Appreciate it. It's been like an hour.
Yeah.
I think the ratings are going to go through the roof today.
That's not a thing. Literally, no one's listening.
Still waiting for Black Cat Minerals to open up. There's still nothing going on.
Go
over
over
there.
and get your incense and make the studio smell better.
The cage is still
Leah
down there.
Relieved herself.
I feel like Dawn of the Dead. There's nobody in this mall. I feel like I can just run through the stores and just do whatever
Coming
I want.
up at the G-Spot, Chris Jericho kills walkers. He's going to kill some walkers. Thanks for being on the show.
Thanks, Chris.
Thanks, guys.
The Forge in Joliet tonight. They open with this one. Here's the latest from Fozzy. It's Spotlight on WIIL Rock.
I am the light of the truth, the one who sees right through. I know your every move. I've got my eye on you. Spotlight.
I know you've got a secret, it's buried down below. Deep within the basement, let it go, let it go. I know you've got your issues, you forever. The sweat poured on your brow. The guilt that slowly festers, eating inside out. Cause every lie you tell, I know. Everywhere you go, I go. It's written on your face. Every thought you have betrays you. Now, now, now. I am the light of the truth, the one who sees right through. I know your every move. I got my eye on you. Go on and bury it down. I'll follow you till it's found. I got my eye on you. I got my eye on you. You're wicked. I'm short light. Shine on you. Like spotlight. I'll witness. On the dark night. Your sickness. I know your every move. I got my eye on you. I know your every move. I got my eye on you. I know your every move. I got my eye on I am the light of the truth, the one who sees right through. I know your every move. I got my eye on you. Go on and bury it down. I'll follow you till it's found. I got my eye on you. I got my eye on you. You're wicked. I'm short light. Shine on you. Like spotlight. I'll witness. On the dark night. Your sickness. I got my eye on you.
Spotlight is the latest from FOZZY. You can see and hear that tonight at the Forge in Joliet. Great show last night from everybody that went and saw it at the Vixen in McHenry. Fun having Chris Jericho in the studio this morning. So good guy. Yeah. And we're friends now. Did you hear at the end? We're
that
friends.
was a pity friendship.
No, it
he
seems
just wants
like
you to play Spotlight.
well, he's going to hang out at the house later today.
Oh,
so,
really?
yeah,
That's what he's doing?
Yeah.
You guys are going to watch your Invasion
Of the
Body
Snatcher
Snatchers
down,
or something?
Sutherland?
I literally was like,
80s movie.
okay.
Yeah.
I thought it was a new TV show on Netflix.
No. It's pretty good, actually.
Is it?
Yeah. Space aliens and never mind. It's creepy.
They snatch the body.
Well, no, they like infect it. They take it over from the inside.
Ooh.
Yeah. See now. I know about it. It's 9:42.
Mostly sunny today with a high of 62, 45 overnight, and tomorrow sunny and 77. It's 49 in Zion and 46 in Lakemore.
I like it when we have guests in the studio that make us sound more legit
Yeah.
than we are.
We're
So
a big deal now,
yeah,
right? They were on the map.
I don't know. I was hanging out with Chris Jericho this morning. Not going to wash my hand. So there's that. You want to hang out with us?
It seems so like anticlimactic
well,
now.
Chris Jericho was okay with it. But the Cabin Fever getaway.
You could hang out with us for a whole week.
Yeah, drunk.
Chris was like, I was there for an hour.
Yeah. We get a whole
That's a long time. You can get a whole
with
week
us.
of this.
Yeah, that's how
You
in
think Chris
demand we
wants to
are.
go?
Well, you can ask him. It's Cabin Fever getaway.
Chris, you want to go to Jamaica?
Want to go to Jamaica in February with us?
All right,
Chris
Chris
Jericho's
Jericho's
going.
going.
He does those cruises. Yeah. Oh,
We got you.
he's going
Bye,
on
guys.
the Cabin Fever getaway with us now in February in
That will
Jamaica.
sell the thing out.
He does that cruise stuff. We only have a couple seats left, by the way. If you're thinking about going on, now what if people go and they're like,
Where's
Chris Jericho is going to be here? Last minute cancellations. Got some
Chairs to smash.
important things to do. But Cabin Fever Getaway's got a few seats left. 5:00 tomorrow afternoon is the deadline. If those are even still available, if you're thinking about going, book it now. It's all inclusive to Jamaica in January. The resort not even open right now. They're gutting the whole thing and making it all new. Royalton Blue Waters Resort and Spa, Montego Bay, Jamaica is adults only. It's our 25th Cabin Fever Getaway. You pay up front and then unlimited reservation-free dining at 13 restaurants. Unlimited drinks at 11 bars and 2 swimming pool bars. We'll do our morning show there every day. You can talk.
Do it.
You can taunt your friends back home. I'll do the morning show every day.
It still says like I got my paperwork.
Yeah.
and it still says live broadcast from Tom Keith.
Well, because we didn't know when
That's
they launched it, we didn't know who was going to be
you, bro.
last year. If you watch the video of last
Yeah,
year's
your
live
co-host.
shows, my co-host was only there like half
Half
the time.
Yeah. Well,
drama. So
I've got some pretty.
oh, geez, more drama.
Yeah.
Anyway,
No, I'll be good.
CFG this year. Call travel leaders 833 TL trips February 3rd to the 10th. Airfare, all your meals, all your drinks, and more at the adults only all-inclusive Royalty Blue Waters Resort and Spa, Montego Bay, Jamaica. Chris Jericho might be there. Call travel leaders at 8. They're open now. 833 TL trips. 833 TL trips. There are only a few spots left. Deadline to book is tomorrow at 5 if those spots are left. 833 TL trips, or get details and book online at 95willrock.com. Thanks to travel leaders, Fun Jet Vacations. Chris Jericho's 95 Will Rock Cabin Fever Getaway with 95 Will Rock, the rock station. the baby. I don't have a lot
kidney
of
stone out
yeah,
once. you
yeah.
know.
Did you really?
Yeah, it's
that
not
looks
pleasant.
horrible.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But baby's probably
No, baby.
bigger.
Listen, here's the thing about birth and babies,
Don't-
Tim. Let
oh
me tell.
don't
Here's the truth
start.
about birth and babies. It doesn't hurt. It's the one thing that we will never know how it feels. Listen, they're all about having things being big. They want big, right? They want Mr. Big. They don't
Size
want
matters.
They don't want manageable. They don't want small.
Have
They
you
want-
ever
they
seen
want
the
big.
size
They're-
of a cervix,
they're
like what
always
it actually
asking-
looks
they're
like?
always asking for big down there. They want a big, whatever. And so then they have a baby and they're like, oh, this is horrible. It hurts. I'm like, well, you always want big down there. Baby's pretty big. So I think that birthing a baby actually feels wonderful. It's like orgasmic.
No.
But they have this deal, in junior
Yours-
high, when they separate us, the boys and the
yes,
girls,
yes.
they pull
For
them
the
aside.
talk.
They
Yeah.
pull the girls aside and they go, now listen, ladies, here's what it is. Having a baby is the best feeling in the world. But what we're going to do is we're going to tell them it hurts and we're going to lord it over them that, oh, we birth the babies. We go through all of that and we will hold. And listen, if any of us tells them the truth, you're out of girl club. We will ostracize you. We were coming for you. You cannot tell the truth that having a baby is the best feeling
You've
ever.
spewed this BS before,
It's
haven't
true.
you?
It's nothing, but we can never prove it. And then I had to put that thing on that electronically,
Yeah,
like,
which does not.
it made it supposedly feel like I was having a baby.
I did it
But
too.
but it doesn't. It's a torture device.
Yeah, it feels like you're
having a baby.
It's
is
not
the
even-
best-
Yeah.
Having a baby is the best. Think of the best feeling. Think of the
You
first.
are
Think of the
so-
first time
You're
in your
Nimrod.
life. Think of the first time, Tim, your special purpose went off, and you were like, "Wow,
Oh,
that's
yeah.
what that does."
Yep, that's
and you're
exactly
like,
what
"That's
it
an
is.
incredible." It feels
That's-
better than
yep,
that
yep.
having a baby.
Yeah.
It's the great lie, and none of them have cracked. Not one of them has come forward and said, "You caught us. It feels great."
They say that your water breaks, but really that's just you
That's- you're-
finishing.
you're-
yeah.
yeah, squirting. It's so good, right? Yeah.
Soaked.
So I'm glad that you're at least.
Yeah.
I know you can't tell us the truth, or else there's
I'll be out of
repercussions
girls'
with-
club,
yeah,
right.
Yeah.
My
My
leg
si-
just vibrated like 5 times. It's
What?
probably all females
The one-
going,
yeah,
what is he talking
well,
about?
Whatever. Okay, continue with your lie.
My sister-in-law is actually in the hospital having a baby right now.
Or-
Shall we
it's
call her?
Orgasmic. No, you don't want to interrupt her during the best feeling of her life. Let her enjoy it. That yelling when they're like, that's the
them
same
finishing.
as
Yeah. You're right. You're right.
Yeah.
So a woman in Philadelphia, hers didn't last as long. She
Oh, too
seemingly did the impossible by effortlessly giving birth to a baby in less than 40 seconds.
Well, see, and this is
Wow.
related to you. Can finish yourself off in 30
In
seconds.
30 seconds.
This is her. She's as adept at it as you are.
She said, and I quote, "I did not have to push him out. He came out on his own." Now, her birth is known as the Ferguson reflex, which
Mhm,
I've never
mhm.
heard of before.
Yeah.
It's labeled as fetal ejection reflex.
Uh-huh.
Which they say the fetus is just expelled from the body without any pushing.
Yo, I'm out of here. Hey, look at me. It's baby at your cervix. You liked that one, did you? Okay. Anyway,
So there's that.
It's the secret.
where was your thumb? Anyway, this is what she talks about.
That's where you stick it when you're
All right.
Yeah.
You look at first. It's 9:53.
mostly sunny today with a high of 62.
So here's the deal.
What's the deal?
Show notes for today. Chris Jericho. Thank you to Chris Jericho for being on with
Yeah,
us.
it was pretty
That was
awesome.
fun. And you can see him tonight in FOZZY at the Forge. So there you go. Also on the show notes, Tom and Leah's funeral. We worked on that.
Gonna be a moneymaker.
And the other show note I have from today's program is skeleton boners. This is what I do for a living.
Everyone knows.
Quite a productive Monday on the show. We'll wrap things up next on Will Rock.